What's up?
What's that? Oh, are we not doing that? It's not the late 90s / early 2000s anymore? Well, I had no idea. Gonna have to update all my calendars apparently. Damn it, what else didn't I realise? Next you'll tell me I can't go outside anymore because the world is a literal hellscape. Although, from your background there looking like a Fallout game, maybe that's not too far off.
Ever since I started eating raw meat, I've been getting the same comments over and over again.
Ew. What the hell is wrong with you and why? And probably a bunch more, I'm sure. My personal response is, chewy. Who needs gum when everything you eat takes hours to grind down enough for you to swallow? Yum yum. So no judgments from me. I mean, I eat all of my food raw. Well, by raw I mean alive. And screaming.
Humans evolved by eating cooked meat.
They did? How does that work? Because things evolve regardless of what they eat. It's just what they do. However, what they eat will often, but not always, determine how they evolve. But that's probably just semantics and not what they actually mean. What I would say is that cooking their meat is what made humans what they are today. At least part of it. And is what made them the second most dominant species on the planet. After me, obviously. Also, love the me am smart laugh these guys always do. It really speaks to the smug.
I understand that I'm talking to mentally challenged people.
Dude, that's hardly fair. Just because you think that someone is wrong doesn't make them mentally challenged. And yes, I know I make jokes about people being stupid all the time, but that's just pejoratives. But this guy, I'm pretty sure he genuinely thinks that everyone who isn't him is subnormal, whilst having the apparent cognitive capacity of a mouldy pear. Yes, I am still just being an ass, but he doesn't make himself not sound like an idiot, does he?
Because they believe in evolution, so how do I even explain it to them?
Holy shit, you don't believe in evolution, and you are calling everyone else mentally challenged. Wow. Pot's calling other people things. Jesus. That is just so hilariously ironic that I'm just gonna need a moment to savour the flavour. Tastes like moron.
Maybe some of you are watching right now.
Huh? Watching? Yeah. What were we talking about? Pigeons? Yeah, pigeons walking around, pigeoning up the place. The bastards.
If you put your hand into fire, it will be ouchie, ouchie. And if you put it on a hot stove, it will also be ouchie, ouchie, because fire is destructive, so don't put your food into it.
Oh my god, that was just... wow. That was probably the single most ridiculous argument that I think I've ever heard. I mean, I get it, you are pretending this is just you trolling, but you also clearly think that that's a good argument against cooking food. When... hot damn. No, aside from the ways you can cook food without the need for fire at all, so well done on that particular dumb, fire is not inherently destructive, the same way wind or water aren't. It's when you let it get out of control, or well, in the case of wind, just it does get out of control. You're basically making the argument that cooking food is bad because fire is bad because fire can hurt you. Dumbass. Literally everything on earth can hurt you. You gonna stop breathing? You gonna stop going out in the sun and letting it bounce off your stupid bonce? Hell, you gonna stop eating raw animal products? Cause I know you think this is just bad opinions from big mean science, but that shit can kill you if you aren't extremely careful. And sometimes even if you are. Maybe you should just stop doing anything. I know I would get behind that, especially when you're trying to talk down to people while saying the silliest shit ever. The second-hand embarrassment is real.
Cooking destroys. What does it destroy? The cells, the molecules.
Cooking destroys the molecules. You heard it here first, folks. When you cook food, you just evaporate it and there's nothing left. Actually, I think that explains a lot about why he really doesn't like cooking. It's because he's so absolutely, epically bad at it that every time he just incinerates it into nothing. Probably because he'll put it on, not set any sort of timer or reminder, and then wander off into the woods for 4 days, only to return to a very smoky house and a complete lack of food. Again, every goddamn time. You know what? I'm not gonna bother cooking anything anymore. Om nom vom.
What are you made out of? Where are the nutrients stored?
What am I made of? parts unknown. Where are the nutrients stored? In my face hole, which basically leads to my entire empty inside, so it all counts as the same thing, and is why I can fit another whole person inside of me. That and I am fat. Probably because of all the people. Bastards.
What is meat? An animal. What are you? An animal.
What exactly has that got to do with fire being bad and cooking with it also being bad? I mean, you can't be so stupid that you think that vegetables are bad, right? They aren't animals. Oh god, I bet you totally think that vegetables are bad for you, don't you? Oh.
You're so fucking dumb.
Hey, that's my line. And again, incredibly ironic coming from a man who is saying things that are so far from any semblance of reality that it would be funny if it didn't make my brain want to escape from my ear holes like a rocket being fired from a post slot.
You brainwashed scientism following sheeple like studies so much, right?
You just know someone is super worth listening to when they call you a brainwashed scientism following sheeple. As we all know, highly emotionally charged language is the only way to be correct about anything. And yeah, I like studies. Of course, the angry language being the right thing is why all those classic scientific studies have titles like Gravity is Real, Dipshits, and Evolution is True, You Asshole. And of course, my favourite, F me, F you, and F space too.
At least you read the titles.
At least I can read. Sing! I know it's an obvious joke, but he's setting me up for him, I swear. Also, no, as most papers I read are presented to me by someone trying to prove a point, I actually read the abstract and then I read the conclusion first to see if what's being said in it even remotely supports whatever the person claims it does, and then I read the rest to see if I'm missing something. You have to do this shit in stages because 99 times out of 100, whatever study that is being presented by my subject is either a nonsense gibberish paper or it doesn't say what they think it does because they haven't read it. And you can usually tell they haven't read it by step 1. And at that point, only one of us has even read any of the goddamn paper. It's pretty annoying. Thankfully, your lot rarely actually shares any papers, and that's probably for the best, since, well, even when you do read them and think they support your claim, they really, really, really don't.
Every study ever done shows that cooked meat has less nutrients. So how did we evolve if raw food has more nutrients?
Because, Mr. Big Brainer, having more nutrients and having easily digestible nutrients are not the same thing, even remotely. And even if you have read more than the titles of your apparent papers, you would know that a lot of the time these paltry extra nutrients are going straight out of your arse and into the little hole you dug in the woods. Because I assume you don't believe in toilets or some other such garbage thing. And ultimately, when cooked, depending on the food at least, but not that much is necessarily lost, and the amount you can now absorb can completely dwarf that number. And maybe you would know that if you weren't so goddamn malnourished.
There's no fucking logic at all.
The logic is pretty sound actually, because you're kind of right, but in a way that makes you really, really wrong. The cooking process does break down elements in some food, but that doesn't mean that they disappear into the ether. It means that it's a lot less work for your body to absorb, meaning that you spend less energy digesting it. So you ultimately get more energy from it. And many of those extra nutrients you love so much is stuff we can't actually break down, but the cooking does that for us. Seriously, is this why you are so goddamn thick? It would explain it, probably along with the brainworms or some shit, because you know cooking usually kills that kind of crap too.
Never has been. You believe a fantasy story.
No, I believe the countless amounts of research done by people way smarter than me, and I understand that they are way smarter than me, instead of thinking I am the world's biggest smarter because I eat raw steak for some reason. But you, I wouldn't even say you believe a fantasy story, you believe just utter nonsense. It's not even fit to be a fantasy, it's just a nothing.
What do you need for brain growth? B12. Cooked meat is notoriously known for destroying even over 90% of B12 when it's well done.
When it's well done? Well, no shit, but only monsters eat stuff like that. I mean, if all your food is well done, that probably means 90% of your food was just hunks of charcoal, so no wonder all the Nutri-Boys were completely ruined. But I'm going to assume that since you use the qualifier of well done, that definitely means that food that isn't cooked by complete lunatics is actually pretty good. And again, cook food make easier Nutri, better than hard. Although watch him work that out finally and then go with the line, Well, my hard-won nutrition makes it better because reasons.
Creatine, also completely destroyed. The omega-3s, vitamin D, all of it is destroyed by cooking food.
Again, depends on the food, but destroyed? I think that's what we call bullshit. As I understand it, we are talking percentages, and most of those percentages are from things like water-soluble vitamins, hence boiling, hence vegetables. And the fact is, your B12 thing? Vitamin B12 does not break down at the boiling point of water for several hours. Yeah, it's total horseshit. Unless, as I keep saying, you are literally cooking things into oblivion, and basically no one does that. Except maybe my grandmother.
It has only caused brain shrinkage.
Well, you like to pretend that you've read studies, so what study did you pretend to read that told you that cooked meat causes brain shrinkage, as you call it? The only shrunken brain around here is... No, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. I mean, I like easy work. I love low-hanging fruit, the most nutritious fruit of all. But that's just too goddamn easy, and I have some self-respect. Nah, who am I kidding? I don't have any self-respect, micro-mind.
Something that is destructive is not going to make your food healthier or beneficial if you only do it for 5 or 10 minutes.
Wait, what? Cooking's not going to make it more beneficial if you do it for only 5 or 10 minutes, so you're saying it can be beneficial? You're really starting to mix the signals here, man. And again, this goes back into he's only ever had cooked food that has been overcooked. And yes, overcooking is a thing. We know that there is an amount it should be cooked for at the max. It's almost like humans have been doing this for tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions of years. It's like them there humans knew what they were doing, and the ones who pranced around the woods banging on about how smart they are while eating roadkill all died off.
If you cook your food for an hour, then you will turn it into charcoal. If you do it for a shorter period, then you will destroy it less, but you still destroy it, you idiot.
Yes, I know. We are the idiots because we know the difference between destruction and chemical changes, because I'm sure that chemistry is probably bullshit too. And following from that, physics is definitely bullshit, and all those fields of engineering that rely on it, they are definitely not true, so anything they produce is not real. So I do have to wonder how you get these videos onto non-existent YouTube. It's probably just millions of etchings or some other archaic bullshit, because Mr. Luddite here is too smart to fall for your garbage. He have the big Brian.
Why the you do it at all? How did you evolve by eating food that has less nutrients? Explain that.
Because, right, and get this, you don't know what you're talking about. You are missing a key piece of information, so it doesn't make sense to you. But instead of wondering why literally everyone else on the planet, and especially those stupid, dumb, smart scientists, instead of asking why do you all disagree with me, have I gotten something wrong, you instead think, literally everyone must be an idiot. 9 times out of 10, if someone thinks they are the smartest person in the room, they are the entertainment. Oh, and by the way, I have a kids' party come up, and I do really need a clown. You'll do, I guess.
I'm waiting. Where is the proof?
That humans absolutely infested across the globe? Sorry, I mean their success in contaminating the planet. Damn it. I mean, humans have managed to spread everywhere, like a particularly virulent form of super cancer. No, I just can't do it. I tried to be nice about the humans, but every example of them I see is just one of you people, and it all just makes me sick. Hence the name, apparently.
They will say, we denatured the proteins so that we can absorb them better.
Oh, for God's sake, someone actually explained some of it to you, and let me guess, you don't believe it because reasons. I'm incredulous / don't understand what you said, so it must be false, right?
Fantasy story, where's the proof? Never been proof.
Yeah, I thought so. For such a big smarter, you really are incredibly predictable, aren't you? It's almost like I'm talking to a child.
You're making up bullshit and you believe it. You're a religious believer. You believe man-made beliefs.
Wait a sec, am I making it up or am I believing man-made beliefs? One or the other, it can't be both. And what if you're wrong? I mean, you keep saying, where's the proof? But then act like you have read the proofs. So I can only conclude that you either didn't read them or didn't understand them. Or maybe a bit of both. Read half of it, didn't understand it, so it must be fake. Got 'em!
That's it. That's it.
Here's the perfect example of a study done by imbeciles.
Right, perhaps it was. I don't know. But you don't debunk a paper by saying fuck, calling everybody stupid, and doing your ever more irritating, incredulous laugh. You actually need to do your own studies. You need to do the science, and you need to show them up. Show them where they're wrong. That's the great thing about real science. It's brutal and cutthroat, and if someone can prove someone else wrong, they go right for it. It's the complete opposite of the backpatting from most woo peddlers telling each other how their stupid ideas are really, really good, guys. Ultimately, there's only one imbecile here. Well, two, but one of us is far more of an imbecile. It's you. You're an imbecile. Now go away. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos. And she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the